Welcome to Faith in 5, a weekly video devotional designed to discuss practical spiritual concepts in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Mark Vandella. I meet with a lot of couples, and a lot of times the story is pretty similar. I sit in front of couples who've been married for 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 5 years, and they seem to be perplexed. Things aren't going very well when they sit down in front of me. They're upset, they are not connecting, and they explained to me that we did everything right. We were good Christian kids. And good Christian kids who are dating, the things that you do or don't do as good Christian kids, the number one thing is you don't have sex. So you save your virginity for the person that you marry, and then we believe that that means that we will have a phenomenal marriage. We will have mind-blowing sex even. I guess I should have mentioned this one has maybe a little asterisk of PG-13. I'm not going to get crazy about it, but one time I had a friend that sat across from me in one of these spots, and he said, you know what? We did everything right. We were youth group kids. We were church kids. And now we're in our marriage, and I believe that it's one big cosmic joke. That was powerful. That stuck with me because, unfortunately, the idea that abstinence equals success is a myth. We're at the end of our marriage myths series, and we are going to debunk the abstinence myth. And honestly, on the other side of that, the opposite is the practice myth. They come from the same place. See, in our relationships, we often make sex, either virginity or being really good at it and practicing a ton, the end-all, be-all, the thing that we focus on. When we talk about being good Christian kids and preparing for marriage, the one thing that everybody talks about and wants to ask you is, are you waiting or are you not? And the one thing that a lot of couples want to talk about is, we're waiting or, nah, we're not. And what it does is it repositions the value systems of what our relationship is built on. See, marriage, the foundation of marriage is not whether or not you have a good sex life. It's not built on how many times you have sex prior to marriage, and it's not built on how long you wait or if you were a good kid. See, unfortunately, that is something that's kind of mountaintop experience. If we think about, we build a relationship from here up, and the things like sex and money are mountaintop. We want those, but we want those without having to do the work to get there. And so what we do is we take this thing that's at the top and we put it at the bottom, and it disappoints us. Because we get into our relationship and we think it's going to be perfect because we did everything right. If you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. And we do this, I think, to protect ourselves. Like, we create these strict rules so that we stay in the box and so that it makes it easier. The problem is, what most couples communicate to me around the abstinence myth is one of two things. That once we get married, because we have focused so much on this, the wedding night is going to be mind-blowing. Because we've waited, we are going to earn something. It's like, I've done all of these really good things in my life. I've never hurt anybody. I love people. I serve people. And then that means that I get riches in heaven. That's not the gospel. It's not merit-based. It's not something that we earn. Now, don't hear me say that I think that waiting is a bad idea. What I'm saying is just believing that this idea of waiting is going to unlock something. What it does is it changes the focus on our marriage. We're not focusing on communication, conflict, who we are, how we're wired. We're focusing so much on that one thing. The other thing that often happens is we make it so dirty, bad, evil as we date and as we grow up, that then one night happens and we're supposed to flip a switch and it's all going to be perfect. And if we continue to perpetuate that lie with other couples, we do damage. We have people that sit in front of me that say, this is a cosmic joke. I did everything right, and I have not what I was promised. It's not exactly what the Bible has to say about it. See, in Matthew 19:5, it says, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. The two will become one flesh. It is something that's special, that's meaningful, that has a lot of depth. But when we make it all about this thing, virginity, waiting, or practice, trying, make sure we're sexually compatible, we make our whole relationship kind of hinging on one of those two things, which is ultimately the same thing. Our whole relationship lives and dies based on sex. That's not what the Bible seems to be suggesting. We leave our families, we start a new family, we become one in so many different ways. And sex is a way, sex is an enhancement, but it's not everything. See, one of the things that I love to think about when it comes to healthy married sex is the idea that the word in Hebrew for sex, for intercourse, is yada. And that literally means to know. And instead of this idea of just waiting or practicing, what if we said, I want to get to know this person, and I want to get to know this person so deeply, so intimately, that when we get married, it will make sense that we come together as one flesh. If we change our thought process to this one thing, this event that has to happen, either wait or don't wait, to I want to know you, I want to change my perspective, it changes everything. The same goes for our relationship with God. It's not as simple as do good, do bad, get bad. We should have this deep connection, relationship to know God. This week, as you live out your marriage, as you live out your relationship with God, consider the ways that you can get to know deeper, intimately, the depths of your soul, and see what happens in your intimacy, in your connection. This week, live out a faith that's full of yada instead of just whether we do or don't have sex.